Grey's Anatomy didn't just become another medical drama, it redefined television. With groundbreaking storylines, unforgettable characters, and enough on-set drama to rival what happens in the operating room, the show carved out its own place in pop culture. From casting shakeups to shocking behind-the-scenes secrets, Grey's has more twists off-screen than it ever did on. These are 20 weird facts about Grey's Anatomy, and the bonus. Let's just say there's a surgery scene even Shonda Rhimes thought went too far. Fact 1. The show almost had a different name. Before it became Grey's Anatomy, the working title of the series was Complications. Shonda Rhimes wanted something that reflected both the medical setting and the messy personal lives of the characters. Network executives, however, worried the name sounded too generic and didn't capture the emotional depth of the series. Eventually, they settled on Grey's Anatomy, a clever play on both Meredith Grey's last name and the iconic medical textbook Grey's Anatomy. The final title gave the show immediate recognition and a sense of permanence. Looking back, it's hard to imagine the series with any other name. That simple change helped transform it from just another hospital drama into a cultural phenomenon. The choice of title was one of the first of many creative decisions that would help Grey's Anatomy stand out from the competition and capture viewers' attention for nearly 2 decades. Fact 2. Meredith Grey wasn't the first choice. It's nearly impossible to picture anyone other than Ellen Pompeo as Meredith Grey, but she wasn't the original pick. Casting directors auditioned several high-profile actresses before settling on Pompeo. One contender was actress Rob Lowe's recommendation, and another was familiar to fans from other hit dramas. Ultimately, Pompeo brought a grounded vulnerability that convinced Shonda Rhimes she was perfect for the role. What's even stranger is that Pompeo almost turned down the part herself. She was hesitant about signing a long-term TV contract and worried about being tied to one character. Yet her decision to say yes not only launched her career into superstardom, but also anchored the series with a character viewers could follow through endless heartbreaks, triumphs, and surgeries. Her casting became the foundation for everything Grey's Anatomy would become. Fact 3. The pilot was shot in a real hospital. Unlike many shows that rely on sets from the beginning, Grey's Anatomy filmed its pilot in a real medical facility in Los Angeles. The production used an abandoned hospital, repurposing its operating rooms, hallways, and waiting areas for filming. This gave the early episodes an extra layer of authenticity, with real equipment and hospital layouts making the world feel lived in. However, shooting in a real hospital wasn't easy. The crew had to work around the building's limitations, from outdated lighting to cramped hallways. Once ABC greenlit the series, the team built a custom set that mirrored the original location, allowing more creative freedom for camera movements and complex scenes. The decision to start in a real hospital helped set the tone for the show's grounded medical realism, even as its storylines later veered into more dramatic and outrageous territory. Fact 4. Isaiah Washington was originally cast as Derek Shepherd. Before Patrick Dempsey charmed audiences as Dr. Derek McDreamy Shepherd, Isaiah Washington was cast in the role. Washington later revealed that he auditioned for Derek but was instead offered the role of Dr. Preston Burke. Shonda Rhimes explained that while he didn't fit the vision of McDreamy, he had the intensity and gravitas perfect for Burke's surgical precision. Ironically, Washington's recasting opened the door for Dempsey, whose chemistry with Ellen Pompeo became the cornerstone of the series. Imagine how different Grey's Anatomy would have felt if Washington had played Meredith's great love interest. Whole storylines and character dynamics might have shifted. It's one of those pivotal behind-the-scenes choices that shaped the future of the show. Dempsey as McDreamy became iconic, while Washington's Burke made his own unforgettable mark in the early seasons. Fact 5. The show saved a real life. In one extraordinary case, Grey's Anatomy did more than entertain. It saved a viewer's life. A fan once reported that after watching an episode where a character's unusual symptoms were correctly diagnosed, she recognized the same symptoms in herself. She went to the hospital and insisted her doctors run specific tests. To their surprise, the diagnosis matched, and she received life-saving treatment. Stories like this highlight the impact medical dramas can have beyond the screen. While the show often takes creative liberties, its medical research and consultations with real doctors ensure a baseline of accuracy. This mix of drama and realism allowed Grey's Anatomy not only to keep viewers hooked for entertainment, but, in rare cases, to educate them in ways that had tangible effects on their lives. Few shows can claim to have literally saved someone in the audience. Fact 6. Sandra Oh fought for Christina Yang's depth. Christina Yang, played by Sandra Oh, quickly became a fan favorite for her sharp wit and fierce ambition. But in early drafts, her character risked being reduced to a sidekick with limited development. Sandra Oh pushed back, insisting Christina be written as complex, layered, and as central to the show as Meredith. Her advocacy reshaped the character into one of the series' strongest and most beloved voices. Christina's independence, ambition, and vulnerability made her stand out in a cast of larger-than-life personalities. Oh's influence went beyond performance. She helped ensure Christina wasn't stereotyped or sidelined. Her portrayal earned widespread acclaim and multiple award nominations, proving her instincts were right. Without her persistence, one of Grey's Anatomy's most iconic characters might have been just another background doctor. Loving these behind-the-scenes twists? Hit subscribe and tap the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Fact 7. The on-set medical consultant is a real surgeon. Every episode of Grey's Anatomy has a medical consultant on set, often a practicing surgeon, to guide the actors through complex procedures. They correct terminology, demonstrate surgical movements, and even show the cast how to hold instruments properly. Sometimes consultants suggest actual rare conditions that inspire entire storylines. To make surgeries look authentic, prosthetics teams build lifelike organs for the actors to operate on, with the consultant ensuring every movement looks convincing. Cast members often say this extra layer of authenticity helps them stay immersed in their roles. For viewers, it's why Grey's surgeries feel more believable than those on many other medical dramas. This meticulous attention to detail has been a cornerstone of the show's production from the very beginning. Fact 8. The elevator scenes are filmed on a small set. Some of the show's most iconic scenes take place in the hospital elevators. Confessions, fights, romantic moments, and even life or death decisions. But fans might be surprised to learn those elevators aren't real. They're cleverly constructed sets designed to look like functioning lifts. In reality, the doors are pulled open and shut manually by crew members, and the walls can be removed for camera access. The confined Space Force's characters into intimate, high-tension conversations, and directors love using it to build suspense. The elevator set is so central to the series that it's often been called another character by the cast. It proves that sometimes the smallest spaces can deliver the biggest drama, and Grey's Anatomy has turned its elevators into legendary TV moments. Fact 9. Ellen Pompeo didn't watch the show at first. Despite being the lead, Ellen Pompeo admitted she didn't watch Grey's Anatomy when it first aired. She felt it was strange to see herself on screen and worried it would make her self-conscious. Over time, though, she began watching select episodes, especially those where she wanted to study her character's evolution or the work of other actors. Pompeo has said this distance helped her keep Meredith fresh, as she didn't overanalyze her own performance. While many actors binge their own shows, Pompeo's choice allowed her to stay focused on living in the moment of the character. Her approach may be one of the reasons Meredith Grey has remained authentic and relatable for nearly 2 decades. Fact 10. The scrub colors have hidden meanings. On Grey's Anatomy, not all scrubs are created equal. The colors are carefully chosen to represent different roles and departments within the hospital. For example, surgical residents often wear light blue, while nurses are seen in darker shades. These distinctions are true to real hospital practices, but Shonda Rhimes also used them symbolically. The shifting colors across seasons sometimes subtly indicate character growth or changes in rank. Attentive fans can spot promotions and department switches simply by watching the scrubs. It's a small but powerful way the show adds depth to its realism and visual storytelling. Even clothing choices became part of the way Grey's Anatomy wove meaning into every detail of the hospital world. Fact 11. Patrick Dempsey was almost fired. Patrick Dempsey's role as Derek McDreamy Shepherd became iconic, but in early seasons, there were talks behind the scenes about whether he was the right fit. Some executives questioned if his softer demeanor clashed with the sharp edge of the show. However, his chemistry with Ellen Pompeo convinced Shonda Rhimes to stick with him. It turned out to be a career-defining decision. Dempsey brought a balance of charm, sensitivity, and confidence that made Derek unforgettable. Later, his departure in season 11 became one of the most shocking TV moments of the decade. Without Rhimes' early insistence on keeping him, the dynamic at the heart of Grey's Anatomy would have been unrecognizable, and the McDreamy phenomenon never would have been born. Fact 12. The cast trains with real doctors before filming. To prepare for their roles, the Grey's Anatomy cast undergoes training sessions with medical professionals. They learn not just terminology, but also how to move, hold instruments, and interact with patients in a realistic way. Chandra Wilson, who plays Dr. Miranda Bailey, has said the training helped her embody the authority of a real surgeon. Even small actions like washing hands correctly or adjusting gloves were drilled until they became second nature. This training prevents distracting errors that medical professionals in the audience would notice immediately. It also gives the actors confidence to focus on their characters' emotions instead of fumbling with technical details. The result is a show where the surgeries feel convincing, even when the drama around them gets wild. That dedication to realism is one reason the series has held up for nearly 20 seasons. Fact 13. Katherine Heigl withdrew from the Emmys. In 2008, Katherine Heigl, who played Izzy Stevens, made headlines by withdrawing her name from Emmy consideration. Her reason shocked fans. She claimed she hadn't been given material that merited an award nomination that season. The comment sparked major controversy, as many took it as a criticism of the writers. Heigl later clarified that she didn't mean to insult anyone, but the damage was done. The incident strained her relationship with the show's producers and may have influenced her eventual exit. It remains one of the most infamous off-screen moments in Grey's Anatomy history. For a show known for its on-screen drama, this real-world controversy proved that tensions behind the camera could be just as explosive as anything happening in Seattle Grace Hospital. Fact 14. The famous ferry crash was a production nightmare. One of the show's most iconic disasters was the Seattle ferry crash in season 3. Pulling off the massive sequence required weeks of planning, special effects, and dozens of stunt performers. The crew built large-scale sets and used practical effects combined with CGI to create the chaos of the wreckage. Cast members recalled filming outdoors for long hours in cold, wet conditions, making it one of the most grueling shoots of the series. Despite the difficulties, the storyline paid off with some of the most memorable and heartbreaking episodes in Grey's history. It was a turning point in cementing the series' reputation for large-scale emotional disaster arcs. The ferry crash proved that Grey's Anatomy wasn't just about surgeries. It could deliver blockbuster-level drama right in the middle of primetime television. Fact 15. Chandra Wilson directed multiple episodes. Chandra Wilson, known for her commanding performance as Dr. Miranda Bailey, has also made her mark behind the camera. Starting in season 6, Wilson stepped into the director's chair and has since directed over 20 episodes of the show. Her transition was seamless, as she already knew the characters, sets, and rhythms of the series better than almost anyone. Wilson has said that directing allowed her to bring a new perspective to the storytelling and gave her even deeper respect for the crew's work. Fellow cast members praised her ability to create a comfortable and creative environment on set. Her dual role as both actress and director is a rare achievement in TV, and her episodes often stand out for their strong character work and emotional impact. It shows just how deeply Grey's Anatomy has become a part of her career and legacy. Fact 16. The show inspired a surge in medical school applications. After the early seasons of Grey's Anatomy aired, medical schools across the US reported a noticeable uptick in applications. Advisors noted that many students cited the show as part of what sparked their interest in becoming doctors. While some worried that the glamorized drama didn't reflect the real challenges of medicine, others pointed out that if it inspired more people to pursue healthcare, it was ultimately a good thing. thing. Cast members have often said fans approached them to share how Greys influenced their career paths. Though not all of those aspiring doctors stuck it out, there's no denying that the show left a major cultural footprint. Few TV dramas can claim to have literally reshaped the career choices of an entire generation. Fact 17. T.R. Knight's exit was due to tension on set. T.R. Knight, who played George O'Malley, left the show in season 5, and fans were devastated. But behind the scenes, Knight had grown increasingly frustrated. Reports suggested communication issues with Shonda Rhimes and a lack of screen time contributed to his decision. Knight himself admitted he felt disconnected from the creative direction of his character. The controversy around his exit echoed other off-screen conflicts that have marked the series. However, his final storyline, where George heroically sacrifices himself to save a stranger, gave the character one of the most powerful send-offs in TV history. Even though it was born from tension, his departure added one of the most unforgettable emotional punches to Grey's Anatomy. Fact 18. The Anatomy book cameo. In a clever Easter egg, the actual Grey's Anatomy medical textbook has appeared on the show. In an early season episode, viewers can spot the book on a hospital shelf, a subtle nod to the origin of the show's title. It was an inside joke from the production team, rewarding eagle-eyed fans with a wink at the name inspiration. Shonda Rhimes has admitted she loves embedding little details like this throughout the series. Though the moment is easy to miss, it underscores the thoughtfulness that went into creating the show's identity. It's also a reminder that even in a series full of big disasters and heart-wrenching moments, the writers and crew never forgot to have a little fun. Fact 19. The plane crash episode changed everything. Season 8's plane crash episode left a permanent mark on the series. Not only did it kill off beloved characters like Lexi Gray, but it also set the stage for major departures and long-term storylines. Filming the episode was physically exhausting for the cast, who spent days in outdoor locations covered in dirt and fake blood. The crash also pushed the show into darker, more emotional territory. Fans often point to it as one of the most devastating episodes in Grey's Anatomy history. Behind the scenes, it marked a shift in the series' willingness to take bigger risks with character deaths. Even after all the previous disasters, the plane crash proved the writers weren't afraid to shock audiences on a massive scale. Fact 20. The show holds the record for longest-running primetime medical drama. As of 2019, Grey's Anatomy officially surpassed ER to become the longest-running primetime medical drama in TV history. It's a staggering accomplishment, given how many shows struggle to last more than a few seasons. Ellen Pompeo has been at the center from the very beginning, anchoring the series as Meredith Grey for nearly 2 decades. The record is a testament not only to the writer's ability to reinvent storylines, but also to the loyal fan base that continues to tune in. Even as cast members come and go, Grey's Anatomy has proven its staying power. The series has already outlived expectations and cemented its place as one of television's most enduring dramas. Bonus fact: Shonda Rhimes cut a graphic scene. During the early seasons, the writers developed a storyline featuring a particularly graphic surgery involving severe trauma. The sequence was filmed using advanced prosthetics and special effects, but after reviewing the footage, Shonda Rhimes decided it went too far. Executives worried the realistic gore would push the show beyond primetime standards and risk alienating viewers. Though the scene was scrapped, cast members recalled it as one of the most intense shoots they had ever done. The decision shows how carefully the creative team balanced realism with accessibility. While Grey's Anatomy has always been known for pushing boundaries, even Shonda Rhimes knew when to pull back. The lost scene remains one of the most mysterious what-ifs in the show's history. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like for more behind-the-scenes facts from your favorite shows.